doing it. You supposed to be happy you sitting there with Kid L. Why you mad?
The Kid L Podcast.
Sidewayz Billy.
Sidewayz
Billy is in the building. How are you doing today, bro?
Brother, I'm great, man. I appreciate the let me come on the show today.
You're the first person to have the pepper and the hair. Me and you both got the pepper look going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At first, I was worried because I was like to the ladies, like, do you not find that attractive? And women were like, no.
They find that ain't the worst part though.
What's up?
When you, somebody did a show the other day, and this lady walked up to me, and she said, "I love your salt and pepper." I said, "It ain't the only places."
Nah, for real.
Like it, but
I actually don't have salt and pepper anywhere else but my hair and my beard for some reason. I don't know why that is, but I was always like talking to girls, and I'd be like, laying up, and I'd be like, I think I'm gonna get it dyed, and they'd be like, don't get it dyed, you crazy.
I can't do that. No, some days I consider, I think about it, but I'm like, no, that's you, that's your swag. It's hereditary. I mean, I think I started out like, I might have been in the 7th grade, maybe only like 11 years old, and I had like 3 gray strands. People are like, are you old? Are you stretching? I'm like, no, it's hereditary. My mom was fully gray in her late 20s.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I think it's a good look, man, honestly.
Well, it's not even gray. It's white. So it's a difference.
Yeah, that's true. That's facts. Are you from Detroit, bro?
I am. Born and raised.
Talk about growing up in Detroit a little bit.
Growing up in Detroit, man, ain't got nothing really, we all had moments, but for the most part, I love my city, man. It's like, it's different. You never know what the day's gonna bring. I mean, it's a lot of opportunities. It's a lot of money. Of course, it's not in your face. You gotta find that honey hole. I think I lived in four different states, 5 different cities, and I'm gonna say ain't no place like home. I mean, I lived in Southern California. I stayed in San Diego for about a year and a half. It was cool. The party life was cool. Nightlife was cool. Just expensive as hell. You go broke real quick, because you can find a whole lot of reasons to go broke.
Yeah.
Pensacola, Florida. I ain't like how muggy it was. I stayed in Camden, New Jersey. I don't like New Jersey laws. Like Jersey.
My bad, can you bring up that microphone a little bit closer to you? You can just bring it in. Yep, there you go. Perfect.
There we go. Okay.
Continue from there.
Jersey laws is the only thing that turned me off. They do something different out there. But the people, I love the people. I love the food. I love the culture. I love I love everything about Jersey and Philly. Stayed in Philly for a minute too. Philly.
When we bring up Detroit, I've talked about this before. Detroit's a place where when you talk about growing up in Detroit, people kind of go over it. They don't really get into detail. And I compare it to people who've been in the military, because people who've been to the military don't like to talk about what they experienced in the military. So it's like two things that I always thinking about in my mind is like, damn, that means that it must have not been the best experience if people always go past it, and they don't want to bring it up because it's not of honor to bring up certain situations, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Certain things are just better left unsaid, I guess, too. Or those who've been, that's association with trauma. So if you experience a little bit of trauma, you try to, like you said, you want to overlook those parts, and
yeah,
you're true.
Now you're a veteran.
I am.
You were in the Marines.
Yes.
Talk about growing up a little bit as far as career paths and as far as destinations are concerned. You went to school and you decided you were going to go to the Marines, or how did that work out?
No, I went to the Marines. I was I joined at like 20.
Okay.
And I knew I wanted something bigger. I was getting in trouble a lot. I got into a lot of trouble on the streets and little dumb stuff. I didn't really have a career path. I knew that I had to do something, and I joined at the time during 2 wars, so I knew I was going to see one of the places, but I looked at it like, well, the type of life I'm living out here, I'm going to die on the damn street, so if something happened to me in there, at least my parents can say, hey, he died trying to be somebody. He didn't, no disrespect there's a lot of people who lost their lives in ignorant stuff. I didn't want to be one of the people. I mean, if I'm gonna die young, at least I want a pretty story behind it.
What wars were happening that you got departure to?
You had the war in Iraq, after they went back to reclaim it, because remember they let it go for it. Well, they walked away from it. America walked away, and then the Taliban, or whatever you choose to call them, took it back over. So the Marines had to come get it back. And then you had the war in Afghanistan.
What year roughly was that? Is that the during the Saddam era?
It was during the Saddam. It was I actually enlisted in late 07.
Late 07.
Late 07, yeah.
Right. Yeah, because my dad was a translator for the Army too, and I remember that specific time they were paying translators like crazy money.
Man. It's ridiculous.
But I remember he would call us and there would be like legitimately like the base is super safe, but he's like, the base is safe, but you still hear bombs going off all around this bitch. Like you're not sleeping
you
comfortably.
ain't getting no break from it.
Yeah.
That's something that always stick with you. I kind of I wouldn't say I'm shell shocked, but it has me always in a state of red alert, elevated in my mind.
Are you comfortable talking about your military experience, or is it something you don't like to talk about?
I know I talk about it. I mean, if I talk about certain things, I mean, that of what I can remember. There's so much stuff.
Yeah.
Certain things I kind of like. I don't revisit, but it's part of me. I mean, it helped make me who I am.
When you said that you went to join, now is it the Marines at the time, like specifically the Marines?
Specifically the Marine Corps.
So you specifically went to, what's the process like? Did you go to one of those like buildings and, they said they're, come sign up to recruiter?
Well, honestly, it's kind of funny because I was pursuing the Air Force at first. I mean, I had pretty good scores. The Air Force wouldn't take me because of my criminal background. But the thing about it was I don't have any felonies. I never had any felonies or anything like that. I just had some misdemeanors that they didn't look too kind of. So
that's so crazy. You figure misdemeanors wouldn't be enough to stop you from getting in.
They didn't care about that. Misdemeanors. That's mainly what it was. There were drug possessions, and the military don't play that at all, or at least most of them. The Marine Corps, nobody would touch me. The only ones that would touch me was the Marine Corps, and they gave me a waiver on it. So,
what's a waiver? They just like looked past it?
Yeah, they just waive it, but believe you're subject all the time to drug tests. Anytime there's a random drug test, your name is on the list.
What was the thought process of, like, from the day you decided I might do it to the day I'm going to do this, I'm going to join the Marines?
I got beat up by a cop and he took my money. And I said, okay, yeah. That was kind of like the eye opener.
So he beat you up and then he took your money?
Yeah, narcotics.
Is everything okay, Nick?
I just want to adjust that stain. It's squeaking off.
Cool. So you got beat up and robbed by a cop?
Yeah.
And like, did he literally beat you up and take your money, or like?
Yeah. He beat my ass in the alley. But it's cool though, because he could have took me to jail, so it's a fair trade.
Right.
So it's kind of like, would you want that one more thing on your name, or you just take your ass whooping and go home?
Did you deserve the ass whooping?
No, but I appreciate not having extra shit on my name too.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever. It wasn't like brutality. It was kind of like wake your ass up. Kind of. I wouldn't say like he kicked me in my head and stump, nothing like that. Just knock the wind out you, stand you up, and tell you your potential.
Now that makes you ultimately make the decision, I'm going to go join the Marines and everything like that. You tell your parents, you tell everybody around you, and then you just head off?
Yeah, I had some people that was kind of against it. But my mother, she was against it. But my father, he was like, I'm for it. He said, that boy in the bullshit out here. So, hey. And my dad, he's a vet too. So,
oh, wow.
Of course, he wasn't going to talk bad about it.
What was the early experiences of joining the Marines for you?
Oh, my God.
Because now you're in discipline mode.
I want to run away. So many times I thought about it. Like, the thought that crossed my mind was, I fucked up. I swear. I was like, that first day I got there, I said, oh no, what the fuck did I do? And knowing that I'm committed to this shit, it ain't no fucking I'm leaving. I mean, you can leave, but I really wouldn't advise it. I mean, if you can get away at that point. I mean, I was on Paris Island, so it's an island surrounded by water, and they got gators out there, and they tell you it's only one way off, and that's to make it. Like they tell you don't think you're gonna go across that water, it's gators in there. You'll never make it across. And, you know, seen as what, Paris Island, South Carolina, near Beaufort. Yeah, it's gators.
Wow. One thing I remember, the only positive thing I ever remember my dad talking about was the food. I heard you guys get hooked up, man.
Oh, not on Marine Corps base. Now you go to a naval base. Yeah, they eat real good. Air Force bases, they eat real good.
So you guys didn't get the buffet, different everything going on there?
No, only if you was on a naval or Air Force base. Yeah, yeah, just like that. You got two choices. Do you want the tacos or the masticholi?
Oh my god! But you figured they would treat you like, you know, feed you well because you need to be nourished in order to build yourself and build your muscle and build your intellect, right? Like,
well, that's when you actually get to your duty station. When you're in training, they have you on a strict diet. I ain't never felt like that in my life. Like, I gotta say, that was the best shape I was in. I was the strongest, fastest. I felt good. I never felt like that. So, you know, the first 4 months, no tobacco, no alcohol. They tell you what they're giving you. You got a time limit to eat it. It's portioned. Specific group training on different muscles. So they got me together. I was looking like the Black Rambo.
damn. Did you like it? Did you like the disciplinariness of it and like getting yourself in check?
No. I didn't at the moment, but here later on in life and during, it helped give me some resilience. I'll say that much. Yeah.
Okay.
It made me resilient.
The first time you actually had to get deployed and actually had to start a mission and everything like that, was it? What was the experience like for you as far as not knowing what the hell you're getting into and now you're finally in it? This is the real deal.
It's a blur. You travel everywhere at night. That's the crazy part about it. Like, no matter what you do from training, you always show up everywhere in the dark. So from training to real life situations, they keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Now with it sounds like you're thankful that you were a part of it overall, looking back at everything.
Definitely. I learned some cool stuff. I learned some hand-to-hand combat, different hand-to-hand combats. That's techniques that I love. I mean, a lot of it is
Can you bring
instinct.
Bring that mic closer? Yep.
A lot of it is instinct. So, I gave them something, and I left with something. I always say I left a part of me there, but I walked away with a part of them too. So,
plus you got to look at the perspective that over here you weren't living the best lifestyle, right?
Not at the time. It bought me time. I'll say it saved my life. It helped me get my head where it needed to be. I met some cool people even outside of duty and things like that. I had a real good friend of mine that I had met. I was going through some tragic times with, my personal affairs, and dude I knew or met found out I was into music. So I thought I was impressing him. So I'm like, about to show him something. He, like, dog ain't hip to this shit. So I recorded something on the laptop. That's didn't have much at the moment. I was just fucking around with it. So I took it over to him and let him hear it. So he said, "You rap?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, dog. He said, "I'm gonna show you how to do that better." Yeah. So I'm thinking I'm teaching him something. He ended up teaching me how to professionally record and stuff like that. So I picked that up as one of my main big hobbies that I was doing there to buy some time or kill some time. Something I actually like doing.
So you could record music over like when you were in the military?
Yeah, we had laptops. I did that stateside. So
were you one of the only ones rapping when you were in the military?
No, come to find out, it's funny because all the brothers did pretty much, or
really?
they had something to do with music. If they didn't rap, they had something to do with music.
That's interesting, man.
And I learned a lot.
Were there other people from Michigan and Detroit with you?
I met a few. I think I met about 3 or 4 people.
Is there a different type of like union between people who are from the same cities when you guys are together, or it doesn't even matter?
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. Because when we got our off time or whatever on the weekends or after work, we'd step on town. You got the Yays on, got some Gators on, hit the town with a Detroit swag. Everybody hit the club like, where y'all from? Y'all not from y'all not from here. Like, nah, Detroit. They just, as soon as you tell them you're from Detroit, especially if you're down south, they love Detroit.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of music was prominent to you at that time when you were listening to Detroit and the sounds that were happening?
Rap, but I kind of want to be a little different. I like the Detroit sound, but I wanted to show some diversity. You know, like I can make Detroit music, but I can also make I wouldn't say downgrade and say industry, less than industry standard, but I could step out of the realm of the Detroit sound.
Mm-hmm.
I could do the Detroit sound, but I could step outside of that too.
Now, how do you step outside of it? Is it different instrumental choices, different ways of putting the lyrics together? Like, how did you change your perspective on putting it out there?
I would say top one would be the production side of it. We know Detroit beats have a lot of hats and bass, driving the beat and the topic. I always admired coming up like Wale and Drake. Like Drake didn't get a whole lot of respect because when he first came out, he was like, "Cry if you need to," and a lot of the brothers wasn't feeling it till they seen the other side. I'm like, man, he got potential. So I just want to step out of the realm and have melodic music, live instruments. I use a lot of live sounds. Cool. I use real saxophones, bass, lead guitars.
Yeah, missing element right in today's music is that, back in the day, people don't remember, but real instruments were being used. Real bass guitars were being used. Real drum sets were being used. A lot of real instruments were being implemented in the beats and stuff. Now, I think that's like so far away. I don't think people do that as much anymore.
I agree. I come from an old school family where I remember growing up, and that's all my parents played. And then I always thought like, well, when it comes to performing, how do you entertain? Because as a rapper, it's how can I set myself apart? And I'm like, okay, it'd be pretty dope if I was on stage rapping. You could see a live band, you see somebody on the drums, you see somebody with a guitar, you see somebody with a sax, a flute, or something of that nature. I'm like, okay. I love digital sound. Don't get me wrong. It has its place, and you can't do everything acoustically and things like that. But I like to throw that little twist in there.
Yeah, man, and that's what I really hope for music is to get back into the roots of using real instruments again. I feel like, when you look at a producer making a beat, I feel like sometimes it's okay to ask somebody else to implement some type of instrument to it. Whether it's a violin or a flute or something different, and it's a real instrument, because now you're adding a collaborator that's truly an artist. Now, I get that producers are working with producers. That's cool. Like, producers are collaborating together. But, man, don't forget that there's some sick guitarists out there. Man, there's some sick pipe players out there. There's some sick people who can do different things.
Facts.
They can do things that you won't even believe, and they don't use the computer. They use real instruments.
And that's another aspect I thought of it is like, when I'm making music, all right, I mean, let's be realistic. Everybody's not going to like your production, but everybody's not going to like your lyrics. I want to give, I call it a gumbo. I want to put a bunch of different things in that pot. Like, you might not like my lyrics. You might not like my flow. But I guarantee you're going to love this melody, these instruments behind me, my band. Yeah. You might not like my band. You might like my lyrics and my rhythm. There's going to be something in there. You might like how I move on the stage or something. It's going to be something for you is what the goal is. Yes. I don't want to be one way.
Yes. That's like, really awesome.
My dad said, like, I don't understand a goddamn thing you're saying, but the beat nice. Well, that was the intent then.
Yeah. Well, that's just about crafting a real song at that point. Music, sometimes lyrics do matter to me. Like, obviously, substance matters a lot and stuff like that. But I think, I always give credit to the producers these days for creating the entire sound, and now you can just ride on that beat. Artists can just ride on the beat and not say too much, and it will come out fire. Now, if you can add substance to it, that's a plus.
Definitely. That's really exactly what you said right there. I want to entertain the the music side of it.
Talk about some of your songs, man. What's been the songs that have gotten you the most feedback, and what songs are you most proud of from your catalog?
Well, my favorite song. I mean, all my songs are my favorite when I put them, and then when I put them out, then when I make another song, I'm like, oh, I don't want to hear that no more. I like this song more. But I can say my latest one will be Late Night. I love that song. I got my cousin actually playing the saxophone on that.
Cool.
We made that by accident on my birthday.
Yeah.
So my homeboy Culture sung the hook. So that's like my brother. So
When you put it out there, are you seeing the feedback you expected from it?
Yeah and nay. One, from the people that hear it, they love it. They say that's probably one of my better ones. They love that. It's a whole vibe. I make vibe music. Like, I try not to be. I don't be too much on a specific topic or something like that. Even though most people say, "Oh, you love women," or "What, you pimping," and this that, like, what the case may be. But Late Night, Act Up, I made that song in about. Me and three of my friends, we made that song about 20 minutes on accident. We're in the studio with a little bit of time left. And was, we got everybody here. Let's see what we can do. So it's a beautiful song.
Where do you does any of your content relay, or like, think about it, like, how long were you in the military for?
5 active, 3 inactive. I went back inactive reserve because when I came home, I felt like, oh, I fucked up. See, I hated when I was in there. I couldn't wait to get away. But when I came home and the money ran up and I really still didn't have a direction of what I wanted to do with my life, it's like, man, I think you fucked up. You should have stayed a little bit longer. But
Can you pull that mic in
a little bit more? You probably want to fist away from your mouth. A little bit closer? Yep, right there. Perfect.
Okay.
So, like, as far as what's contributing to your lyrics and your content, did the military have any influence, and did Detroit have more of an influence, or was it like a mix, or did not one contribute at all?
I would say neither one of them on that.
What was the major influence for your music?
How I feel. How I feel, and just the love of music. Just the love of music. Like I tell people all the time, a lot of people ask me when they look at my background and things like that. They say, "Oh, I didn't know you do music, and how'd you get this, and how did you make it this far?" It's like, because I didn't do it for fame, I didn't do it for money, I didn't do it to impress anybody. I do music for me. I like it, and I just hope that you all enjoy it.
Would that's just being called a true artist? You know, I was actually like on a rant on Instagram Live yesterday, and I was talking about that. I was saying, like, rappers these days are so focused on fame and money, they literally just forget the artist part about it. Like,
Facts.
they forget about the creativity about it. They forget about the love and the passion because they're trying to figure out how to make money from it. And I get that. I get that you want to make money, but to be a true artist, man,
you gotta have a love for the sport.
Yeah, you gotta love what you're doing, or else
definitely.
what do you just money to do anything, and then go do money to do anything? There's so many other things you can do to make money.
Exactly.
You know,
I mean, if money's the big deal, go suck a dick and get it. You can get money doing that. So, you know, like, you should never do nothing for money. You should never want to do something or make something a career because of the money, because you're going to find yourself unhappy. Like, I could think of a whole bunch of things you can do, like you said, for money and be unhappy. If you're doing this thing for money, you in the wrong game.
Yeah.
I do way more things for free than I ever fucking get paid for. Like, I do get paid for some things, but I understand sometimes relationships are worth more than money. Excuse me.
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, if I could build a good relationship, a strong relationship, or if I see something in it that's better than money, fuck, I'm charging for it.
No, yeah, I look at it like that too. Like, you know, when I was younger, I used to always think about, you know how, like, when you're growing up, everybody's talking about having lots and lots of money. Like, the goal when you're young is to make millions and millions of dollars. Like, I'm going to be so rich, I'm going to have $10-20 million by the age of 30. When I got older, I started realizing, dude, I don't need millions, man. Like, I really don't. And I've had a lot of money at a point where I was like, you know, after I reached 70,000, I realized, like, I really don't care to have much more money than this. Like, I get to live where I want to live. I get to have what I want to have. I get to do what I want to do. Not that more isn't like a little more fun. You can do a little bit more fun stuff, but I don't need millions of dollars to be happy, bro.
You know what's funny? It's crazy because I felt that same way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got my first check. Honest to God, I got my first check earlier in the month for $100,000. And when I picked it up and I looked at the check, I put it back in the fucking envelope, and I thought that money would be like, oh, I'm about to rip and run, and it was just like, I don't know if it's because I haven't received, or the reality of it didn't hit me, or I guess it still ain't hit me, but it's like it's 100,000. Like, yeah, cool. What the
Did
fuck
you
am
hit
I
the
doing?
lottery or something?
Nah, I had something going on. I had a business venture going on that
cool.
is outside of music, but.
So you got $100,000, and for you decided to put it back in the envelope, just because maybe you just haven't realized
I mean, I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. Now, don't take it as I'm like, oh, this ain't shit. I'm not saying it wasn't shit. It was like, oh, yeah, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
I said I better do the right thing with it, because $100,000 really ain't a lot of money.
Yeah, don't give me money, man. Because if you give me money, and I didn't work hard for that money, I'm blowing that money.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's how you feel about it, but I feel like if I get money and it was too easy, don't just find a way to take that money away from me, because I'm going to blow it in the stupidest ways, like in ways that don't even make sense, man. When I got $30,000 for insurance one time because I got in a car accident when I was younger. I blew that money so fast on things that did not matter, man. I was buying like little pools of. I was just buying like those like little rubber pools that you can put in your backyard, and I was putting like Jello and shit in it, and just going in there. I swear I did that. I was like, why am I doing this right now?
Like, just because you can, just burn through it.
I burned through all $30,000, dude. I burned through $30,000, and then I ended up $15,000 in debt.
Nah,
that's what happens when you give me free money.
So it's like, that's $45,000 right there, just gone. But the check was only worth 30.
For it, dog.
Yeah, that's what I tried not to do. I'm like, man, just that's what, like, don't get geeked over that. It reminds me of when I played football in high school and I scored my first touchdown and I got in the end zone and I wanted to, do a touchdown dance and all that. My coach said, act like you've been here before.
Yeah.
He said, act like you've been here before. And that's one thing the Marine Corps taught me as well too, is just how to be content. To be content.
Right.
So
yeah, no. Thinking all the time is ruining people. Like, you're always thinking about
people lacking their thought is ruining people.
Yeah.
Because they refuse to think.
I think that's a problem I kind of had. Like, I remember when I was doing business ventures and I was overthinking it, and throughout the whole day I'm just stressed out because I'm thinking about all these business ventures and how this is going to work and how this is going to work. And it's like, I realize that I'm competent and I'm responsible, so it's going to work out as long as I just do the right things. If I do the right things, then everything's going to work out. So if I stay responsible, I stay competent, and I get the work done, it's going to work out. So why am I stressing all day in the morning about it when I'm competent and I'm responsible? And I think that's the only time you start fearing stuff and get stressful about stuff, is because you're not taking that responsibility role. And you have to do that. You have to say, I know I'm going to get it done. And once you say you know you're going to get it done, then that stress disappears. And it's not going to always work the way you want it to work either, so know that too.
Facts. And it's funny that you said that, because when I stepped off into this business venture, before I'd done it, I was asking an older guy of mine who was a mentor of mine. He's actually a vet. The VA assigned him to me because I was going through some things in my life, and like, oh, this motherfucker's going to snap. Like, he's got PTSD and shit. We got to give him somebody to talk to, even though I had people to talk to. That's just how the VA looks after you. But before I got off into the business venture, I told him that, I don't think that it's something that I should really do. So he asked me, why was I doing it and what was my meaning and reasons and things like that. And I don't remember what I told him. I was just speaking from the heart at the time. And then he told me, he said, well, I'm going to tell you that I think it's going to work out for you just because you're doing it for all the right reasons. It's going to work out.
Yes.
So he was right.
Yes. What's been the most valuable, I hate to say lesson, but valuable piece of information that you've ever acquired throughout your whole experience through your life? Like, what's something that always sticks with you?
I would say the tables turn. You know, situations turn. You might be down today. It ain't gonna be like that forever. You know, you might be up today. It ain't gonna be like that forever. So just know that the situation is gonna always change. It's always gonna change, no matter how good or how bad it is. You know, that's part of life.
Yeah.
And just how you can accept the good, be able to accept the bad. You know, it's gonna come. You know, it's guaranteed. It's inevitable.
Yeah. External circumstances, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things are always
can't
gonna
control.
happen. Yeah, things are always gonna happen, man.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing to probably deal with it's obvious. It's obvious as death is the hardest part for anybody to deal with any type of death, whether it's death of a loved one or death of even a relationship or death of anything. That's the hardest thing for people to deal with is death.
You know, the biggest thing, it's funny that you bring that up, and I think it's more of the thought of death. What it is human beings, we don't like change. Change is what bothers us, and death brings about change. You know, I kind of got a phobia against that. A lot of people say, well, how you have a phobia against change? And, you know, you did X years in the Marine Corps, and every day was a different. It was change. I said that's part of the problem why I don't like change, because shit changed so damn much for me. I want some consistency somewhere in life, but that's unrealistic.
If it's conscious, then it's different, I think, right? Like when you're consciously putting yourself into different situations, I think then it's easier to get through stuff when you're consciously making a decision. For instance, like if I'm going to change my life in a certain way, if I'm going to go jump to this place or move to a different city or work with a certain person, then it's still going to feel uncomfortable, but it's still, you can make it more easeful. But when you're in a situation like you were in the military, those external circumstances that are happening aren't really in your control. You're not saying, I really want this person to do this and this person and that person to do that.
I'm a what if person. And that's kind of bad sometimes.
Yeah.
I always think the worst.
Damn.
Just preparing myself, like, just what if? What if? Okay, you think it's going, but what if it don't? I ain't quick on the trigger. I always, what if?
Yeah.
That what if factor is a motherfucker. Because that can hold you back sometimes. That what if can fuck you out of a lot of good. I missed out on a lot of good opportunities with that what if shit.
I have a question about that. I have that feeling with myself too. Do you think the military kind of instilled that what ifness in you? Because the preparedness of the military is blows everything else before I was in it out of the water. So like they teach you how to be. Everything's fucking ready. You gotta have bag ready for deployment anytime.
I agree. That was a process they call ORM, Operational Risk Management. Does the risk I'm taking, does the benefit outweigh the risk that I'm about to take? And I think that's what's wrong with society today and generation. They don't think, they see that carrot. Nobody ever thinks now. Especially if you're doing something fucked up. You about to do something fucked up. What, you ever thought back like, yeah, I'm about to go hit this lick over there, but I don't hit licks. I ain't even that kind of guy. But, it's a lot of dumb shit like that, different shit happening. But like that. And then sometimes I ask a motherfucker, I think like, did this motherfucker ever ask himself what if? Because this shit just didn't make sense to me. So like you said, that what if can probably save your life sometimes. Stop thinking, reconsider.
Yeah, like, a lot of people don't realize when I was first shooting music videos, actually, when I was shooting music videos in Detroit specifically in 2017, I was literally shooting music videos in trap houses by myself. I had my camera. I'm surrounded by a bunch of people I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm filming music videos with real weapons and real things that are happening all around me.
Hoping that this shit is legit.
I'm not even, you know what? I wasn't even thinking when I was doing it. I was just doing it. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even conscious of the decisions I was making. I was just like doing it because I'm getting paid. It wasn't until I started really getting, in serious situations and very, very serious situations, like I got locked up, I had weapons pointed at me, I had all these different circumstances where my life could have ended or I could have been sent away to prison for a long time. I didn't realize the risk factor of what I was involved in
Because
just
of the
because I wasn't
love.
even conscious though
Oh,
either.
it was kind of okay. It was not. Yeah.
I'm a fool.
You think about the money and what I got to do. Not even just the money. It's my dreams and my intent of why I showed up here. Not the possibilities of the bullshit that could happen while I'm here.
Yeah. Plus, you're just ignorant to what could really
Yeah,
happen.
facts. That too.
Yeah. Even when you join the military.
And having trust that somebody will understand you're a businessman and not to put you in a circumstance like that. Everybody don't have that respect.
You don't
That's
think
respect.
about that. That's the problem. You don't think about it. When you're a fool and you're young and you're not thinking, you're just doing stuff because you're just doing, you're not thinking. But at the same time, I think that's what we're talking about though, conscious decisions, right? When you make conscious decisions, yeah, you know, you're still going to have a little bit of fear and anxiety, but it's way more controlled when you're actually making the decisions consciously versus you're just throwing yourself into something because you think that's what you need to do. And then again, external circumstances are throwing you in different directions.
Facts. Now, I've been placed in a lot of bullshit situations that I didn't know that I was walking into. But the outcome of that, well, I ain't gonna say the outcome came out all right for me, but the shit I had to go through to clarify shit up, you know, I've been placed in positions. I think we all have.
Do you ever have like regrets about anything you've ever done in your life or how you've lived your life at all?
Not at all. It made me who I am. I wouldn't take anything back. Would I had done some things a little differently with the not knowing what I know now? If I would have known it then, I would have done certain things differently. Yes, but do I have regrets? No. No, I don't. It's just I feel like, you know, don't get this misconstrued. A lot of people can say, oh, well, God knows what you're going to do before you do it. No, God gives you a choice. You got two choices, which one you going to take. And he knows what you're going to do before you do it, but he gives you the option. Because he knows your heart.
You know, you know what's really weird is like when I would get off airplanes and I would walk into somebody who was a veteran and stuff like that, and, you know, they're all suited up. You can see everything's put together and stuff. And like some people will salute, some people don't salute or whatever. And how do you feel about that aspect of like showing honor to somebody who's protecting our country and providing for our country?
I've always, coming through the airport in uniform, I've got random people want to take pictures with me in the dress blue. The dress blue, some panty droppers. I'm talking with the red, you got the red stripe down your leg. I'm talking about, I was at Atlantic City Casino, and I had this lady pull me in the bathroom. I don't even know her. I'm walking past, you know, we're in a group, Marine Corps ball. Walking by, a lady grabbed me and pulled me in the bathroom. We, you know, we getting on in the goddamn stall real quick, but
Fire.
I lost track of time. Where was he? Where was he going?
Damn.
Some panty droppers.
So yeah, I'm joining the military tomorrow.
Stepped out of the bathroom like, all right, where all my unit go?
Yeah, they all walking. I'm reeling this chick in the stall. We say we stalling in Atlantic City.
The dress blues looking good doing it though. You're like, hold on, I gotta fold this up really quick.
Oh no! I just slipped it through the pee hole.
Well, so when people see you, is it like a thing where does it upset you? Like do you like it? Do you not like it? How do military people feel about that?
Well, as a Marine, given the standard, I can't salute you back if we're indoors because I don't have a cover on. I don't have a hat on. You can't salute. At least in the Marine Corps, I think the Army they do it, but I can't salute you if I don't have nothing on my head.
But when people do it to you, I'm saying, like, do you,
I wave, acknowledge. I've done a whole lot
do you
of.
like it or do you not like it? Like, does
Yeah,
it?
definitely. I've even had people I don't even know. I wonder how many pictures of me is floating around that I've never seen. People will run up to me and want to take pictures with me.
That's crazy.
So, you know, I think that was my first encounter with being something or having the feeling close to being a celebrity before becoming one. It's just random people running up to you wanting to take pictures.
Whether or not you did it because it was for your own personal life choices, at the end of the day, you're sacrificing yourself for the greater good, right?
I didn't even know that they got the facts because I didn't even know that they got that type of love.
Mm-hmm.
That threw me off. There's been times where I'm walking through the airport, I get on the airplane, I done bought me a little cheap ass ticket, you know, just because I'm on leave, I want to go home or wherever I'm going. Yeah, and I done had the stewardess, the damn stewardess or whoever was on the plane say, hey, would you like to come to first class? Well, I have an open spot. I'm like, definitely. They take me up to first class. I'm told they passing me drinks, getting me fucked. I'm stepping off the airplane, stumbling.
Yeah, that sounds like it's like a P Diddy up front. Get your ass out of here. We got a veteran in this bitch.
I'm on that plane. I step off the plane tripping like, oh shit.
It's cool to hear your perspective on stuff, man. Because like I said, you know, a lot of people come on here. They were born in Detroit. They don't like to, you know, they don't like to go over their experiences because there's a lot of trauma involved. And just like with the military, I'm sure there's a lot of trauma involved and all those things. So it's kind of cool to hear your perspective and your wisdom about the situation. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you like talking to us about this.
I appreciate you, bro. Like I'm an open book.
Yeah, man. What do you consider? What do you really want to put out there right now? I know we got music and movies on the line right now. Talk about these projects and what you really hope to showcase to people this year.
Oh man, I gotta get some. Me and Sauce Walker was talking about doing something. It's funny because you asked me about one of the songs I like earlier, and that slipped my mind because there's just so much going on with it. I did a song with Raven Justice from Oakland. I think E40 found him.
Yes,
E40 found him, and it was a blessing he done a song with me because. You know, in this music world, there's levels to it. You know, there's a lot of us that are in the industry, but there's certain plateaus that you got to hit. And he's at a point, you know, he was at a point at the time I was aspiring to be at, and we crossed paths, and the brother did a song with me. Like, it's called Sucker Free. And matter of fact, I think he used to be on BT Jams back in the day, back when 106 in Park and all of that. He showed me love on that. As far as like my future projects, I want to get some bigger features in there. Jada Kiss wanted to do something with me. We were talking, and I'm trying to figure out, you know, how we can work in that. You know, given my style and his flow, you know, so that's a real big honor.
Yeah.
I got some songs that's supposed to be on the radio here soon. I've been working on some other business deals. I just turned down a $1 million deal.
Wow.
From it was a record label in Canada. I ain't gonna throw them out there like that because I was gonna mention their name, but I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah.
It just to me it just didn't, you know, I didn't like the terms of it. So.
For sure. It's common to turn down deals, man. No matter how much money they throw at you, right?
Yeah, it was $1 million. It was $250,000 up front that paid out every quarter until I got the whole thing.
Wow, man.
But it was some stipulations in there that, you know, I didn't agree with.
For sure. We wouldn't want to get you in any trouble.
Yeah, I ain't gonna mention their name. I talk about the terms. I just won't say their name.
No, I know.
Because I definitely appreciate more than not liking the terms. I appreciated the recognition. I appreciated the consideration. I never, you know, throw nobody's name under the bus or roll them out bad just because I didn't like the deal. I just didn't like the deal.
For sure.
But it shows me that I'm on the right path.
Yeah, for sure, man. You don't get offered $1 million if you don't got something going on, you know.
Yeah.
Billy, man, it was an honor having you on. Seriously, this was awesome. This was an awesome conversation.
It was an honor you let me come on, man.
No, this is
definitely.
This is a much needed talk, and it's great to have somebody's perspective like yours, man. I always appreciate somebody who has their head on their shoulders and is able to deliver their message with the calmness that you have, and because I think that's when people listen the most, is when somebody knows what they're talking about and they deliver it in a calm and positive manner, especially with all the circumstances that've been dealt through your life. So I look forward to checking out your music, especially the Real Instruments, man. Look forward to seeing what you bring out. I want to drop this episode as soon. I'm gonna actually fast forward the process of getting this out here this week. I want people to hear this story as soon as possible.
Oh man, that's dope.
We're at Parallel Sound Studio, High-Low Visuals and Shooting These Productions. We're out.
We're
Peace.
Sup on that barbecue first. Oh, he got it out of there. Wait.